Hey, what's going on, guys? Archer Mark here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today I have from the Marvel Legends Infinite series the Captain America Winter Soldier wave. This is the Black Widow figure. Great figure right off the bat. Really happy to have her in my collection. We'll get a better look at the figure in a moment. First, again, as usual, take a look at the packaging. And here you have, right at the top here, Marvel Captain America the Winter Soldier. Again, amazing film, just incredible, blew me away. This is part of the Build-A-Droid Collection Mandroid series. You got your ages 4 and up, warning, choking hazard, not for children under 3. And we go down here, Marvel Legends Infinite series logo, Hasbro logo, there's the character name, Black Widow. As all the Captain America figures in this wave, there's the Captain America image, same thing on either side. Okay, and we flip it around. Again, the Marvel Legends Infinite Series logo, Captain America the Winter Soldier. There's a little mini bio here. Black Widow, former spy and deadly assassin Natasha Romanoff may have read in her ledger, but Black Widow plans to settle accounts. And a great image of the figure. Very cool. Again, I'm wanted this figure for a long time, was trying to find a good price online. Finally, I know stores were restocking or whatever, but between Target and Toys R Us, I found like 4 or 5 of her in an actual physical store. It's the first time I've ever seen this figure physically in the store. Here's the other figures in the wave. Again, have reviewed the Winter Soldier. I reviewed this version of Captain America, of course, doing Black Widow now, and the other figures here. Again, the other Captain America, I would like to pick up one of these days, and I'm not really crazy about getting these other characters, but what's pushing me toward that is this. The more I see of this Mandroid is so cool looking. So I may have to twist my arm a little and pick up some of these other figures just to get these Mandroid parts. So, look at that. That's so that freaking guns on this. Really cool. Okay, you have the Marvel.com logo, Hasbro, all that stuff. Okay, there is the packaging. Onto the figure. And really great figure. I'm very impressed with the look, the paint job, and the sculpt of this figure. And again, we'll give you a nice pan down. See the sculpting, the paintwork. Again, given her name, the Black Widow, she's all in black. This outfit is mostly black. There's a little bit of silver to her, but it's mostly black. But again, there's slight variations. We got obviously a little silver on the zipper and a little bit kind of a grayish paint on the gauntlets here on the side, and you do have the silver, the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo there and there, and it's very nicely done. Again, that's an area where you could see like paint mishaps or paint splotches, but this looks like it was very cleanly done. Little buckles here on the holsters. We do have pistols sculpted on the side. They are not removable, which is very disappointing. But overall, a great figure. One thing that I'll say that this figure needs, like a lot of female characters, I've said this before, generally they have, kind of high heels or high-heeled boots, and it makes them hard to stand. So she really benefits from a figure stand. So I put her on this stand greatly to try and help benefit the review, because these female figures do not like to stand on their own. Okay, we'll go over articulation real quick. You have a ball-jointed neck, ball-hinged shoulders, ball-hinged elbow, just a single joint, swivels at the wrists. You have a ball-jointed upper torso, like right like in this area. Nothing on like the waist, the lower part. We do have ball jointed hips. We have swivel joints on the thighs. You have double hinge joints on the knees and hinged ankles. So I've seen really good articulation. Oddly enough, the 3 3/4. If you look at the Avengers line of figures, the 3 3/4 Black Widow figure, that had more articulation, and she came with guns that weren't just sculpted on, so better accessories as well. Which I'll get to that in a moment. You'll see what I mean there. But still great articulation. The swivels on the wrist now, I believe that was done. She does have swappable hands. So I think that's why they didn't put any hinge joints. They just did the swivel. So to incorporate that, let's see. Let's get a look at the facial sculpt. I think is a really good job here. They did a wonderful job getting Scarlett Johansson's likeness. I think it looks very good. The red hair is really nicely done. It's obviously red hair, but you have little hints of the black in there. And it's very well done. One thing I want to say I like, this may disappoint some people, they resisted the urge of making a very low cut top of the outfit, or making the zipper unzipped a little bit, exposing a little more of her. You know, Scarlett Johansson is a beautiful woman. She looks great. But this character, you know, she's a more serious character. Yes, she's sexy, but it doesn't always fit the character. It doesn't always need to have, let's take a female character and just, like, put her chest, like, way out there and make sure it's super low cut. It's, like, yes, it looks sexy and all that, but it's not always necessary in a figure. You know, sometimes there are variants or whatever. I don't know if I'm sure there have probably been Black Widow figures in the past that have had a more exposed bust, but I'm glad they steered away from that this time. It's not necessary. It's a more mature thought process there. Some people may not like that. I don't know. One thing is cool. I'll show you the swappable hands. It's basically the reverse. You'll see you have sort of a gripping hand here and an open hand there. You basically have the opposite for the hand, for the different hands. So you have a gripping hand for this hand, and you can make this hand the more open hand. It's basically the same. You know, obviously reversed. It's, you know, the left and the right hand. But again, very well painted and sculpted. It matches up very well. You know, it does. If you swapped out the hands, I don't think you would see. You know, it still looks like the same hand. You know, you're not seeing differences in like the paint. You know, so it's very well done. The gloves still look good. They match the gloves that are on the figures. You know, this is the way the figure comes like this as far as the hand. So, but just, again, you have that option. So you can have either the left hand gripping or open, or the right hand gripping or open. So you have that option. Another thing is you have the alternate head, which is really nice. You have a longer hair or you have the shorter haircut. So depending on, you can get kind of a Avengers hairstyle, or this hairstyle fits more of the way we see it in the Winter Soldier movie. So you can, you know, choose, what do you like better? Do you like shorter hair or do you like the longer hair? One thing I will point that the advantage of this head sculpt is with the shorter hair, it makes the head articulation work a lot better. With the longer hair, this is the head that is on the figure when it's in the packaging, and it hinders the head articulation a lot with the longer hair. So as far as that reason, I will have her with the shorter hair, because you could articulate the head a lot better with the shorter haircut. And I don't know. I like this hairstyle better. This is just a long straight hair, and it's fine. But I definitely like this better. I like this haircut better, and again, it helps with the head articulation. So I swapped out the heads on that. Also, one thing I want to point out in doing so, I did this with the hands just to test them out, even though I like it the way this is, and also with the head. They swap out very easily. It's not overly tight. It's not overly loose. You don't have to struggle like I've seen with other figures where it's really a struggle getting the alternate hands or heads on, and you're worrying about breaking the figure. These pop on and off very easily, and I don't think the pegs are overly thin, so I wouldn't be overly worried about them breaking. Obviously, if you do it enough, you weaken it, and you could break it, but I think it was built really well there. I don't think you'll have a big problem with it breaking if you do it just once or twice. Just obviously, the more you do it, if you could weaken it. Okay, so that again, also the head sculpt, again the facial sculpt looks just as good as this one does with the eyes and the lips and the face. It's very good likeness to Scarlett Johansson, I think. Then we have her last accessory, which again I think this is meant more for the Mandroid than a weapon actually for her, but this is just ugly. Just big black hunk of plastic, and you get the little gold tips there. She can hold it, but it just looks stupid in her hand. So as far as weaponry is concerned, she suffers the same thing as the Winter Soldier figure. If you saw that review, just terrible weapon accessories. The alternate hands and the head are nice, but this ugly big hunk of plastic. We really needed some pistols. Again, why couldn't we get pistols? So again, might try and hunt down some weapons from like some other figure. I think I may have some pistols that may work from another figure somewhere. So I'm not sure, but she needs some better weaponry, because this hunk of like black plastic just doesn't look right at all. So there you go. Overall, still a great figure. The articulation is done real well. The paint apps are great. Most of the accessories are good. Again, this thing is just a fail. But this is definitely a great figure to pick up. Hopefully you can find her. Again, I don't know if it's the stores are just restocking. Maybe it was just in my area. I don't know. But hopefully you can find her in stores, because she goes for a decent price. I've seen her online, and at New York Comic Con, I think it was like $35, $40. Some people want. It's just, no, that's too much. So I was very glad to find her in an actual physical store. So I would definitely recommend her if you could find her. It's a great figure to pick up. Despite this is, again, the one big flaw is this ugly, terrible weaponry. So that's the one big fail, Hasbro. She needed some better guns. Give her some pistols, please. I begging you, give us a weapon. That would be cool. A Marvel Legends like weapons pack. I'd buy it. It'd be worth it. $10, $12, something like that. Give us a bunch of weapons for some of our Marvel Legends figures, so we could swap out these ugly, big, clunky pieces of plastic. But great figure, really well done. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please favorite, like, rate, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you want, sure. All that fun stuff. Until my next video, so long, and be safe.